27, 23 CR 40, and 23 CR 164, all captioned State of Kansas versus Raul Montez Gonzalez. Please announce appearances.
On behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appearing on behalf of Raul Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez does appear via Zoom audio visual. Your Honor, I would announce at this time pursuant to plea negotiations, Mr. Gonzalez would enter a plea of no contest in 23 CR 40 to the charges within that case, and also no contest to 22 CR 15. And I'm sorry, that might be 23 CR 15. And he's pleading no contest to the charges therein. The state's agreed to dismiss the other two cases.
And that's your agreement, Mr. Regier, on behalf of the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, that's your plea agreement?
Yes.
All right. You have 4 cases in front of me, 2 being dismissed, 2 you're going to plead to. Let's sort through all of that. We'll start with 22 CR 15. In that case, 23 CR, no, got too many of these to keep track of. You have a 23 CR 15. Is that one of them he's pleading to?
It is, Your Honor, 23 CR 15.
All right. So in 23 CR 15, Mr. Gonzalez, you're accused of violating a protection order on March 29th of 2022. The state's alleging in count 1 that on March 29th of 2022 throughout April 2nd of 2022, you did violate a protection from abuse order issued in Butler County District Court case 22 DM 103. A Class A person misdemeanor. They're alleging in count 2 that between May 4th of 2022 or thereabout, you again violated a protection order in Butler County District Court case 22 DM 103. Another Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead to those 2 counts, sir?
No contest.
Okay. Now let's look at 23 CR 40. In that case, it is alleged that you violated a protection order on May 18th of 2022. In violation of that case 22 DM 103, how do you plead to that?
No contest.
It's also alleged in count 2 that you violated a protection from abuse, or a violation of a protective order, I should say, in 22 DM 103. How do you plead to that?
No contest.
Now, is anyone making you enter these pleas today by any kind of threats or promises other than your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
You understand you're giving up your rights to your trial in these 2 cases if you proceed with this plea agreement.
Yes.
You won't get your trial back and you won't be able to appeal a conviction. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, on the other hand, the state has agreed that they will dismiss 23 CR 27 violation of a protection order on December 30th of 2022. And they're dismissing that, so it can't be refiled. And they're also dismissing 23 CR 164, violation of a protection order from September 13th of 2022. Mr. Regier, is that all correct in keeping with your plea agreement?
It is, Your Honor, and as far as the factual basis goes, the affidavit in the first case does appear to indicate a series of multiple text messages that were sent by the defendant in violation of the protection from abuse order. Similarly, there appear to be two affidavits in the second case, also which appear to detail a series of text messages, which appear to have been sent in El Dorado, Butler County, Kansas.
And that's true in both cases? It's
That is
based on text messages that he was sending to this person that was the alleged victim in these two cases of domestic orders?
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I will find the defendant guilty in both cases. Recommendations for sentencing.
Your Honor, pursuant to plea, the state's recommending 12 months for each count in both cases. The counts to run concurrent within, but consecutive between the multiple cases. An underlying sentence, so for a total underlying sentence of 24 months in both cases. 12 months court services probation with all standard conditions, no contact with the victim, all standard costs and fees, which I believe would be $158 for the court costs and $60 for the probation fees. I believe that the state is not seeking restitution or fines, and it looks like this defendant still needs to be booked and processed since he has not done it yet. I believe also there may be some indication about going through a third party regarding certain forms of contact.
Mr. Patterson, why is your client not complied with the order to be booked and processed on each of these four cases?
Judge, I only became aware of that last week when I was communicating with Ms. Norris about plea negotiations. So I don't have much of an explanation for that other than I have discussed that with him. He does know that he needs to get that done very quickly. Judge, on that other issue, they do have a child in common. So Ms. Norris had stated she would agree that they could communicate through a third party for purposes of the child only.
So Mr. Gonzalez's victim is what, his wife or the mother of his child?
Well, at least the mother of the child they have in common, Judge. I don't know about whether they were ever married or not.
Mr. Regier, was this woman given notice as a right as a victim in each of these cases to be present today?
Your Honor, I do show notice was sent in 23 CR 15 and it would appear that notice was also sent regarding today's hearing in the 23 CR 40 case.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Regier. All right, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes,
Did I not tell you to go out and get your picture and prints taken?
I really don't remember, ma'am, but I can go over there today. I'm off of work, so I really don't. If you did, I had a lot of stuff on my mind and, you know.
Sir, you have four cases in front of me today. And I typically, in every A and B misdemeanor case that comes before me, order that a person goes out and gets their pictures and prints taken. That's Kansas law, and I do my best to comply with the law that I'm entrusted with. Let me check some of these notes, see what I find. Deputy Caulfield, do you have any indication that I ever told him to go out on any of these four cases? I mean, I know you wouldn't necessarily have that, but yeah, March 23rd, 2023, and the 23 CR 27. Bond was set at OR 2,500. You never went out and signed an OR bond? '23 CR 15. Sir, I'm not hearing your answer.
Oh, no, ma'am.
March 23rd in the 2023 15. Go out and get your picture and prints taken. 20 OR bond. Let's look at 40.
And Your Honor, if it helps, I have notes in both cases which suggest that the defendant was ordered to be booked at the previous March 3rd hearing by today's date, May 1st, 2023.
Four times, Mr. Gonzalez, I didn't ask you, I ordered you to comply with the law that says go out to the county jail and get your picture and prints taken. 4 times you ignored that order. And you say, why did you do that?
I have a lot of stuff in my mind, Judge. I'm living in a rat hole right now, and I work out of town, and I only make $300 a week, and I'm because it's just a lot of chaos is going right now. You know, my house is in shambles.
I have a lot of things on my mind too, if you believe it or not.
I just overlooked it, and I apologize, and I can go take care of that right now. I mean, I'm not a criminal. I'm not.
You're not a criminal? Yes,
I'm not a criminal.
Yes, sir, you are. You've just become a criminal by entering these pleas of guilty to these crimes. Now, let me tell you what, sir. Here's the problem you put me in. By ignoring 4 of my orders, I don't know that I can trust you to comply with any of my orders from this day forward. And in order to put you on probation, I have to trust you to comply with my orders.
I understand.
What am I supposed to do?
You know,
the only way I can make you comply with my orders is to put you in jail right now and not grant this probation that you've negotiated 2 cases away for.
Well, I really don't want to go to jail. I mean, I want to work. And
then why don't you comply with my orders?
It wasn't intentionally, ma'am.
Well, it may not be intentional that you don't apply with my future orders. How do I know what's intentional and not intentional in your mind?
I just plain forgot. I'm telling you the truth. I forgot.
I have too many people on probation to allow people that just plain forget to be on probation.
May I be heard?
Why not? Go ahead.
Judge, I can tell the court that when I did meet with Mr. Gonzalez, discuss these cases with him, that it did appear to me that he was sincere and that he really did not understand some of the issues that were going on in the PFA violations, that I had to explain very clearly with him what they meant. And I wish I would have been assigned to him back in 2022. Maybe when the first one happened, we might not have the others, because after discussing those with him and really making it clear that he could not respond to text messages that were being sent to him or it's a violation, he started getting the idea. So I think it's a matter of setting him aside, really discussing things with him, making sure he understands very clearly what the issues are and how it's to be handled, that he then does comprehend. So I can't tell a court about the first appearance. I think it was the first appearance on all the cases at one time. But I can tell a court after talking with him, he became real clear to him that he needed to get booked in on these and was going to take action.
So, Mr. Patterson, as his character witness today, you are assuring the court that he just didn't understand, and that if I put him on probation now, he will understand?
That is that is what I got from him. him, and it seemed very sincere, Your Honor, yes.
Do you think, is this a language barrier? Do we need to go back and get an interpreter?
No, Judge, there is absolutely no language barrier. I think he does understand English very well. Mr. Gonzalez,
Where is he, by the way?
I think his video, he was walking around. I think we lost his video.
Well, I can't have a sentencing if I don't have a defendant.
Judge, we will call him and make sure he gets back on there.
Go ahead.
Recording in progress.
And my assistant's doing that right now, Judge, across the table from me.
Well, if it's not a language barrier, what is it? What is it he doesn't understand? And don't answer that till we get him back here.
Your Honor, I believe he is supposed to be here and at the Sally Port today also.
Judge, while we're waiting, can I inquire who Blade T2 Light is?
Oh, that's Ashley Lakin.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my phone died and everything, and I called the office and I was trying to get logged back in.
Is he going to rejoin us, Mr. Patterson? Do you know?
Judge, we did get a hold of him and he's getting right back on now. Apparently his phone went dead on him. He's getting back on.
Well, her track record is not good.
And Judge, did I hear Mr. Regier correct? The date on the bond was July 12th.
Your Honor, that's the date that I'm showing on this particular bond.
Well, my docket notes show that March 6, 2023, Savannah Medlin. Oh, that was for setting her motion for judgment today. So the motion for judgment has been set aside again, and she is bonded out again. So who knows? Maybe this next time will be the charm. She'll show up. Do we have an address for her anymore? All right. Well, I tried to help out there, but obviously other people have done things that I didn't know about. So we're on the record in 2023 CR 15, State of Kansas versus Raul Montez Gonzalez. Jared Regier for the state. Darren Patterson for Mr. Gonzalez. Well, what's the status of this one, gentlemen?
Judge, we were most of the way through a plea and sentencing. We got to the portion about him making sure that he gets fingerprinted and photographed, and then we lost his phone. He appears to be back.
Now, I think we were trying to figure out about sentencing, whether I should put him on probation or not, and that was an issue. Am I remembering correctly?
It was, Your Honor, you were considering that, and I was discussing
Testifying for
my,
his good credit. Okay, that's right. I remember that. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, where do you live?
1165 Highway 196 here in El Dorado.
How long have you lived there?
Oh, about a year and a half.
Where'd you live before that?
707 West 13th in El Dorado.
How long did you live there?
Well, I built that house. It took me 20 some years.
And you know where the Butler County Jail is? The Butler County Detention Facility, as they call it these days, out on Stone Road?
Over there by the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After your last hearing, did you go into a Sallyport breakout room and talk to an officer? And set up an appointment to go out there to get your picture and prints taken, to sign a bond?
Man, that's been about a year ago. I mean, I'm gonna say yes.
Well, one of those orders was just back in March. Do you remember that one?
I just remember the one that I had with you, and I was in Iola at a motel working, and that's the one that the only time I've been on Zoom on court.
Okay, now I have never been in a motel with you and Iola.
No. I was working over there, and then that's where I went to. That's where I had my meeting. That's the only time I remember, Judge.
Was that a Greenwood County case with me or a Butler County case with me?
No, that was a Butler. I was just working over there.
Okay. That's the only hearing you remember?
Yeah, that's the only one that I remember, ma'am.
Your Honor, if I may.
Go ahead.
In both of these cases, I'm showing one hearing prior to this one. I was on both those hearings, and that was not before this court, but before Judge Satterfield on a summons. The notes that I have indicate that the defendant was ordered to be booked by today's date, May 1st. At that time, the defendant appeared pro se by Zoom and counseled, and the court did appoint Mr. Patterson to serve as the defendant's representation.
So your notes show that he was ordered to go out there and be booked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any notes to talk about him going to the Sallyport today?
Nothing to that specifically, Your Honor. However, it looks like in multiple cases, including 23 CR 15 and 23 CR 40, there is a jail affidavit that states, quote, that on March 10th of 2023, the defendant failed to report to the Butler County Detention Facility as directed by the court to be processed and released, which is somewhat different, but in any event, it would appear that this defendant was ordered to report for booking and processing.
Deputy Jared Dean.
Your Honor, if I remember correctly, he was, I think, on a job or something the last time and he couldn't make it. So on my notes, he was to show up. When he showed up today, he was supposed to either go out there today and get that done. And if basically that's what his order was, it was to get it done today. So he wasn't supposed to be booked by today. He was supposed to have appeared at the Sallyport and then gone out and got his pictures and prints.
Well, everybody's notes are different.
Judge, there's notes in case number 23 CR 164 when he was in front of Judge Satterfield saying pretty much that it's set for 5/1/23 at 8 a.m. defendant to be at the Sallyport for this hearing, bond set at 2500 OR, be processed the same day of hearing.
Okay, so that's for one of his four cases.
Correct. That was just on the CR 164. That's
Mr. Regier, thank you, Savannah. I'm sorry to cut you off. Then, Mr. Regier, you had some that said that he was supposed to what?
My notes from the previous hearing say that the defendant was to be booked May 1st of 2023.
All right, and somebody has jail sheets that say what? You had jail affidavits saying that he didn't go out there today or sometime?
Yes, Your Honor. It looks like that was at least in the 23 CR 15 case that was filed back on March 8th of this year.
All right. So after everybody contributes, it comes back to where we started. He didn't go out to the jail and get his picture and prints taken when he was supposed to, because he's not out there now, are you, sir?
No, ma'am.
And he didn't go to the Sally Port as he was supposed to today, because you're not there at the Sally Port, are you?
What is the Sally Port?
It's the jail there. It's the detention portion of the courthouse where Deputy Caulfield is.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so we come back to what I said initially. If I can't trust you to do what you're told to do, how do I succeed with you on probation? But in any event, what the heck? We're going to try it. We're going to just see. Can you get out there and get your picture and prints taken today?
Yes, ma'am, right now.
Where are you right now?
At my house, I just hop in my truck and go.
Make sure your license is valid, which that's not your issue. Your issue is violation of protection orders. Now, when those orders were issued to you in the protection case, whether it was protection from stalking or protection from abuse, you were told not to have any contact with this lady who's now been determined to be a victim, right?
Correct.
Did you have any misunderstandings about that?
No.
Right.
Maybe on one of those cases, I was just trying to be a nice guy about giving her a washing machine and dryer because I knew that she didn't have one. So I went through her father to ask her if she wanted it, and if she did want it, for her to make arrangements to come and get it. And that's the only one that I remember. I don't remember the other ones.
Well, 2 of the 4 cases were dismissed for your plea agreement.
Right.
But between those 4 cases, you had a string of violations of protection order violations from September through, I don't know, May of some point, May of 22, maybe you've had so many violations, I can't even keep track of without having them right in front of me on the screen. But I don't want you to ever come back here again and say, I didn't understand what was ordered. So
that's what Mr. Patterson said. That's what Mr. Patterson said. He said, if you see her, just run the other way. Run like the Dickens. So I'm taking that to heart.
Well, it's a shame you didn't take the judge and the protection from abuse order at heart when they said that. All right. So I'm going to go with this plea agreement, and I'm going to give you a chance on it. But I'm skeptical because you haven't been able to understand or follow anything you've been told yet. In the civil protection order, in the 4 criminal cases, even when you were told to go to be at court in the courthouse today. In the CR 40 case, count 1, 12 months probation. Count 2, 12 months probation concurrent.
Hey, ma'am. Just one question, because I don't want to get in trouble getting in contact with her. And sometimes I have trouble my little girl answering the phone, because my little girl tells me that she takes the phone away from her to go look through the emails or to messages. And am I allowed, can I buy her a phone, my little girl?
That's not in my jurisdiction in this case.
And Judge, that was one of the things I said earlier. Ms. Norris and I had discussed requesting the court to allow him to have contact through a third party only, and only for purposes of their child they have in common.
That I would agree with, and I would order that. And Mr. Gourdier, if you could put that language in the journal entry. But whether you get her a cell phone, no, I'm not going to get into that and grant that. All right, so 12 months, no fines, 250 of your attorney fees you will pay. $158 of your court costs, $60 of your probation fees. You will see your probation office as directed, and you will call that office as soon as this hearing is over at 316-322-4153. All standard conditions will apply. You will not have contact in any way, shape, or form with this victim. Don't text her, don't email her, don't call her dad and see if she can have a refrigerator.
Okay.
In the CR 15 case, again, 12 months, concurrent with each other, but consecutive to the other case, so that if you get revoked, you're going to serve 12 months on one, and then you're going to start another 12 months on the other. You are going to pay at least 1/12 of the total due each month. And that's $250 plus $158 plus $60. So at least $468 divided by 12, with the first payment due on May 30, well, the last business day of May. Maintain a full-time job, that's a standard condition, and I intend for you to comply. But you're going to go out there today as a condition of your probation and get your fingers and prints taken in all 4 cases, including the 2 dismissed.
Okay.
And if they're not done, that's a violation of your probation. If you don't show up when you're supposed to, that's a violation of your probation. And if they tell you where to show up and it's not convenient with your work, you better be there anyway.
Okay.
You don't strike me as a dumb person. You don't strike me as someone who is language impaired. You strike me as somebody that does understand what's going on around you. And I expect you to start complying. Anything else, Mr. Regier, we need to address?
Your Honor, so the underlying sentences are to run concurrent to each other in the individual cases, but consecutive to the other case?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
And I'm assuming the probation officer has discretion as far as payment is concerned.
No, I want him to pay at least a 12th in each case, starting with May, the end of May. And a probation fee in each case, $250 for attorney fees in each case, $158 for court costs in each case, $60 supervision in each case, for a total of $468 in each.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, if I may.
I was going to say, Mr. Smith, you're here. I don't know if it's for this case, but what would you suggest at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. On this case, I would just ask the defendant, since he's going to be out and about, that he just report here in person today to get the paperwork filled out and started.
Okay, so do you understand that, sir?
Yeah, what's the address?
You're going to go to the courthouse. It's the newer of the 3 courthouses. They're together.
Okay.
201 West Pine. Go in there and check in. What's the latest you want him to check in? It's like 12:25 now.
I would just say as soon as he's done with the jail, he can report, but no later than 3.
All right. And Deputy Caulfield, can you get the jail to get him in there this morning? This afternoon, I guess it is now.
We're telling the jail that he needs to be done. We're on the phone with him, talking to bosses to see if it could get done, because the gal that's normally does it isn't there today. So
Okay. So it's
we're
not
going to
letting me-
see what we could do.
All right. I'm going to put you in contempt and jail, Mr. Deputy Caulfield, if that's not done. You know better than that, don't you?
I
'Cause I know you do what you can. I know you do.
could use a couple of days rest probably.
Yeah. All right. Anything further, Mr. Patterson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Gonzalez, you're somewhat free to go. Not really, because you still have several things you have to do, right?
Right.
Okay. Do not
Well-
forget. Okay. Head out to the jail.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. You-